And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to a little bit of a channel update. Now, the last time that we had a channel update was back in October of last year. So I wanted to take some time after quite a little bit of a stretch of hopefully more consistent content on the channel and have a little bit of an update, okay? Unscripted, nothing like that. We have gone through a little bit of a few series here recently. We have begun Baldur's Gate 3, though it's kind of tapered off a bit. We went through both Force Unleashed games, had a little 4-episode adventure in Kenshi, we completed Star Wars Bounty Hunter, and we continued on with Yakuza 0, Knights of the Old Republic. We've rejoined Henry in the Mojave with New Vegas. We have completed Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. We're continuing on with Assassin's Creed Origins. We completed both Star Wars Battlefront games from the Classic Collection, and we have completed Metal Gear Solid, as well as Fable Anniversary. Now, there have been quite a few attempts at series in the past that never really took. We Happy Few come to mind. Wasn't very big fan of the game, unfortunately. And where I was playing it on console, I couldn't get into it. Don't know what was going on there. We tried Skyrim once. It didn't really work out. And then Cyberpunk 2077 fell off when I was having content recording issues. The same with Sam's roleplay in New Vegas. Couldn't finish it. And previously we had attempted Sleeping Dogs, but we finished that one, thankfully. And there was also Doom and Dying Light. Oh, and Watch Dogs. So I have wanted to kind of finish what I started there. We weren't very far in Dying Light at all. We weren't very far in Watch Dogs at all. We were extremely early in Doom, and we were extremely early in Cyberpunk. Now, I have since moved my library to Steam, but I don't have everything there. So we are working with a little bit of a mixed bag there. I do have several different games I would like to tackle on the channel, and I'd like to go into them. But I also want to stress that I am committed first and foremost to finishing the current ongoing Let's Plays on the channel. That would include Yakuza 0, Assassin's Creed Origins, and Jedi Survivor, as well as our roleplay series, New Vegas and Knights of the Old Republic. Those are the ones that I'm going to finish next. Full disclosure, I am recording 2 other series, a continuation of Metal Gear Solid. We are tackling Metal Gear Solid 2, but similarly to how I handled the first game, I'm recording that all at once, and then I'll release it once it's finished. And I have tested out Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. And I really had a good time doing that, but until we clean up some space in our ongoing Let's Plays, I really don't want to put anything else on top of the docket. So, that's going to be Jedi Survivor, that's going to be Assassin's Creed Origins, and Yakuza 0 from our Let's Plays, and then I want to handle Knights of the Old Republic and New Vegas as well. So we're probably not going to be starting another Let's Roleplay like Skyrim or another Fallout. until those are finished. But I do want to have sort of other Let's Plays, a little, what would you say, less immersive, more just content. I mean, I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed. I love Yakuza. And, you know, just because I'm not in character doesn't mean that I'm also not having a good time. I have several different ones that I am planning on. I have ended a few of my videos with sort of a call to action for, you know, recommendations. I would love more recommendations, but I do have sort of an outline, okay? So I wanted to go through that. As far as Assassin's Creed goes, I am committed to finishing Origins, all of its DLC, and then moving on to Odyssey and all of its DLC, which will take probably a metric year, and then Valhalla and its DLCs. I may do Ragnarok in Valhalla, but I honestly might not. As far as Baldur's Gate 3 goes, I have dropped it from my priorities simply because it didn't seem to be resonating with a lot of people. I'm not doing short form content with the best companion situations, and I understand that that's where a lot of the appeal comes from. I do want to go back to Baldur's Gate 3, though honestly, because of my schedule, and you know, I'm not really one of those people who have to do like extreme difficulty. I'm primarily a story appreciator. I may honestly, I might be a weenie and bring down Baldur's Gate 3 from regular to storyteller, which is fine with me. We did finish Sleeping Dogs and Fable Anniversary, and I did want to commit to doing all of the Yakuza games. So that's Yakuza 0, Kiwami 2, and Kiwami 3, though honestly, I may also do Yakuza 3 Remastered because of the differences in the versions. And then going through Yakuza 4, 5, 6, Judgment, Like a Dragon, The Man Who Sold His Name, Lost Judgment, Infinite Wealth, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, and then the spin-off Like a Dragon Ishin, which is the Western release of a samurai Edo period thing. But Yakuza 0 honestly is not doing very well. I absolutely adore the series, but it's not doing well, mechanically so. I'm going to keep on trying. We're right now at about 10 episodes into Yakuza 0. The plot is honestly getting ready to pick up, but I do want to do a majority of the sub-stories because it really feeds into the experience. So we'll see how that is, but I may drop Yakuza, unfortunately. Star Wars has been very popular on the channel. The Force Unleashed 1 and 2 were phenomenal, gave me a great amount of footage, and spawned a couple of really good deep dives into Starkiller and his clone. We've also got classic Battlefront 1 and 2 that were fantastic. In fact, I might do a couple of compilations of Instant Action or even Galactic Conquest later on. We're 5 episodes into KOTOR 1, and it's not doing too well. Now, we are still on Terrace, which is probably tied with Manon for being the least favored of the planets in KOTOR. If you know, you know. We'll get there. A very dialogue-heavy game with not a whole lot of moment-to-moment action, so I can understand that it's not very entertaining to watch, though the story is phenomenal. And as we finish up with KOTOR 1, I do have a planned video essay for that as well, deep diving into our protagonist and kind of the situations unfolding around him. After KOTOR 1, I would tackle KOTOR 2. Phenomenal. We will also be playing through the restoration mod as well because it's just such a more complete experience that way. I do have Dark Forces 1 and 2 and Mysteries of the Sith. They comprise the beginning of the Dark Forces franchise, though due to their age. I know Dark Forces 1 has a remaster, but 2 and Mysteries of the Sith may be too old to record with OBS. I'm not sure. I'm trying to look into that. Let me know down below if you stream really old games or record. Now, I definitely want to tackle Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy. There's also been a request to include movie duels into that. We've got Star Wars Bounty Hunter already completed, and I'm actually getting ready to finish up writing a deep dive into the backstory of Jango Fett. We're going to be using a concept that I call hybrid canon, which is taking the actual current canon of Star Wars, but also really taking a deep dive into Legends because there's just so much meat there. We're doing really good with Jedi Survivor. I've got 5 episodes recorded on that. It's a really easy record for me. Now, I also have Republic Commando and Starfighter, as well as Squadrons. I kind of want to get into a little bit more of the flight simulator kind of things. Though, I'm not sure how that'll go, whether I go keyboard and mouse or controller. But honestly, with Starfighter and Squadrons, I was considering getting a, I think they're called a HOTAS. It's a pitch and yaw and throttle. I think that'd be really fun. And then I've also got Hogwarts Legacy. I've got a little bit of an idea for this one. I want to roll a d4 to associate with the house and then go through that way. I myself, I'm a Slytherin, and that's the only house that I've completed the game on, back on console. But I think that would be really fun to go through Hogwarts Legacy, maybe even all 4 times, because they have just enough different that it will change the story a little bit, but the broad strokes are pretty much the same. We are doing Fallout New Vegas. Henry is doing great with 3 episodes recorded. That's going to be very long on the channel. And I've also begun the process of Shadow of Mordor and all of its DLC. Until I clear up some things that are already live on the channel, I'll just be working away on this. Now, obviously, if Shadow of Mordor does well, I would do Shadow of War. Now, that's going to be completely blind. I've never played it before, and that's exciting. Speaking of blind content, I do want to do more of that on the channel. Now, I don't record my face, so a lot of the reaction comes through my voice. And, I've considered getting a camera, but no one's asked for it, and I enjoy my privacy. However, I have never played any Tomb Raider games, and I recently picked up the entire Tomb Raider reboot series on Steam. I'd love to go through that, as well as Metro 2033, Last Light, and Exodus. I've played through 2033 and Last Light before, but I've never played Exodus. This is also the year for Grand Theft Auto 6, and while GTA 6 will not be launching on PC for quite a while, and I don't even know if I would be able to run it, I do have several Rockstar games, including Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas as part of the Definitive Edition. I've got all of the DLC and content for Grand Theft Auto 4, so that's the base game, The Lost and the Damned, and The Ballad of Gay Tony. And then I've got Grand Theft Auto 5, as well as Bully Scholarship Edition, and then Red Dead Redemption 1, 2, and Undead Nightmare. Very exciting stuff. Though I do really want to tackle the Watch Dogs games again, because specifically, AI is getting a little crazy in the world. Whether you feel like it's the best thing since sliced bread, or you think it's the end of the world. If you think it's the end of the world and want to see Terminator stuff, I could probably find a Terminator game also. But Watch Dogs is very interesting, and I would love to go through the series properly. I also had a one-shot episode of The Sims 1 Legacy. it was okay. I think it got 8 views. I hear that The Sims 2 is the definitive Sims game other than The Sims 3. I don't care if it doesn't do well or not, I will finish Metal Gear Solid. That is going to be phenomenal. They just announced a few months ago that Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 is going to be coming, which means we have Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots out of PlayStation 3 jail, and a PC version of Peace Walker. So the entire saga is available. I've currently got 2 episodes recorded for Metal Gear Solid 2. That's a briefing, episode 0, like I did for Metal Gear 1. But the second episode is technically our part 1 as well. I will just say this above board. Metal Gear Solid 2's episode 0 is just straight articles from the in-game briefing section. It's not as cinematic as the original game. Completely understand if you skip it. I didn't even get through the actual meat of the 3rd article. But if anybody would like me to dive into that, I can. So we'll go through Metal Gear 2, 3, 4, taking a break for Revengeance, because we gotta love our cyborg ninja, hitting Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes, and then finally the Phantom Pain. After all of that, I'll probably go back to Metal Gear Solid and tackle their VR missions, and then Snake Tales and the VR missions for Metal Gear Solid 2 as well. Whew, that's a lot. It is, but there are some other games I'm considering. I have Marvel's Spider-Man on Steam. I almost picked up Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2, but I missed the sale, quite honestly. Though I did pick up the entirety of the Batman Arkham universe, including the spin-off, not developed by Rocksteady, Arkham Origins. So we would tackle that in release order, that being Asylum, City, Origins, and then Night. And I really want to give Mad Max a proper Let's Play on the channel. It was fantastic and gave me a lot of great footage for my post-apocalypses in gaming video, which to this day is the best thing I've ever done. And the reason why I do so many Let's Plays is all of that footage, I like to use my own as much as possible. So it's easiest for me to do a video essay on a game I've already covered. Like, I'd love to do a deep dive on Altair, Ezio, Connor, Desmond even. So please let me know in the comments if any of this has caught your attention. I know it's kind of a long and rambly video, but it's been on my mind and I like to make a good faith update. There's also one project that I'm considering, and honestly, I don't know if I should do it or not, but I'm going to bring it to you anyway. In theory, assuming I'm able to finish Knights of the Old Republic 1 and Knights of the Old Republic 2, there was another. Star Wars The Old Republic was one of the most unique MMOs in that it had a fully realized story mode. Doing each of the 8 class stories as a dedicated playlist of its own would be phenomenal. I've kind of done some looking around and it looks like there is a gold standard, like a perfect order playlist in order to go through all of the classes. I really hope that you all will let me know if there's interest in this, because I would do a playlist order as follows. Number 1, The Bounty Hunter. It's a neutral underworld story that introduces us really to the state of the galaxy without being so ingratiated into the Republic versus Empire war. And it also introduces a lot of Mandalorian culture without getting bogged down in the Jedi-Sith politics. After that, we would go full dark side with the Sith Warrior. It introduces the top of the food chain and the internal power struggles of the Sith, which is great. Then we would move over to the Jedi Consular. So we've went support or high tech, then we went pure Force Juggernaut. Now we're doing the Jedi Consular, which is very much a Force-focused Jedi. This will tackle a big side plot that people are referring to as the Children of the Emperor, which is interesting. Now, full disclosure, I have only ever played the Jedi Knight and the Sith Warrior to maybe the third planet in their campaigns, and that was almost 15 years ago. Probably closer to 10, but you know what I mean. After the Jedi Consular, we would hang up the melodrama and tackle the smuggler. I hear it's one of the funniest ever. Then we would go with the Sith Inquisitor for a high, almost the Palpatine experience, by what I understand. They say it focuses on dark side ancient history and something about ghost hunting. We'd then go Band of Brothers with the Trooper from the Republic, going with the KOTOR 3 storyline, which is the Jedi Knight, which is the one I've played the most of, and shout out to Mr. David Hayter, voice of Solid Snake, who also plays the voice of the male Jedi Knight. You're a gentleman and a scholar, and you're pretty good. And that's my best snake, unfortunately. After the Jedi Knight, we would wrap up with what is considered the pinnacle of the SWTOR campaigns, in that of the Imperial Agent, which is kind of a James Bond meets Agent Callus meets Admiral Thrawn plot, which is very interesting. And that's kind of my 2026-2027 outline. I've got a lot to do, and I've talked about a lot, and I really, really appreciate my community's input. I try to answer every comment that comes across my videos. I love engaging with you guys, and I really need your help with trying to focus what I am putting my energy into. I work a full-time job, as well as I volunteer, and I've got familial and friendship relationships to uphold, and I only get a few hours a week to put toward my work as Jeff the Narrator. So I want to make sure that what I am putting out fulfills my need to create and storytell, but also interests you. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for tuning into another random channel update. It's been a few months. I wanted to touch base. Like the video if you did, and comment down below. I want to hear from you. I need to hear from you. So let's talk. I mean, we are friends, right? Right? Anyway, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. I've got a ton of content already. Also, weird sidebar, but if there's interest in me re-recording any of my very old stuff, like Assassin's Creed 1 through 3, or even Black Flag, now that I've got a much better mic, I can take that and kind of refine it. Very early on, I would do 3 to 4 hours long recordings, and I wouldn't edit them, anything like that. And my quality of video production has really improved. So if you would like me to touch up some of the things that I've already gone on, maybe I can do that. Also, do you enjoy the 30 to 60-minute episodes? Let me know. Do you want me to cut down boring bits? Or do you really like to see the entire situation? Let me know what you want to see. Also, should I bother trying to learn how to make a short? I'm not even 30, but it kind of eludes me a little bit. Let me know. Subscribe if you haven't, ring the bell so you never miss an update, and as always, keep telling stories.